Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Want to welcome everyone to our webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. And what we're trying to do here is actually creating a plan for the week, combining some technicals with fundamentals and trying to organize our thoughts. And as traders like to say, you plan your trade and then you plan your trade. Nothing guarantees the success, of course, but definitely things get improved when we have a specific plan and we have structure in anything, specifically in trading. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been trading and involved in the industry for over 24 years. I started as a prop trader back in New York City in June of 2000, and I've done prop for about 11 years. After that, I moved into a different way of trading, and I started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy with this great opportunity to support our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar is pretty much the same thing as we do every week. We talk about indices, stocks, commodities, and Forex, and a little bit of crypto for dessert at the end. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Now, social media channels, you have Telegram, you have X, or used to be Twitter, and the YouTube channel, which is my favorite. You have a lot of information here. Please subscribe. Click on that bell so you'll be notified for new things coming and coming on a regular basis daily. Also, webinars. If you missed the webinar, you can always find it here. We post webinars on our YouTube channel. Feel free to access it and use it anytime you'd like. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, please write your comments, click the likes, share with others. That would be amazing. Now, before we go to this beautiful picture, few things. It's been interesting week. We had a nice recovery, almost recovered the losses since the beginning of August. Indices had a nice recovery. Some stocks had nice recovery, and so on. What improved or what caused it? We had some encouraging data on inflation and jobs, and a fear of recession kind of moved away, or at least got pushed away, and excitement about the Fed's cutting the rates in upcoming meeting exactly in a month. Today is the 18th of August, the 18th of September is the announcement after the two-day meeting of the Feds. So we'll talk about these things. Now, I think the highlight of the week is the speech of Chair Powell at Jackson Hole Symposium. This is a yearly event. And as this article or title says here, Powell's big moment, and it says here, Fed Chair Jerome Powell takes the stage at Jackson Hole. What lower interest rates will mean for economy and markets. So that's happening on upcoming Friday. The meeting or the gathering there takes place from Thursday to Saturday, and Mr. Powell is scheduled to speak on Friday. Now, VIX, as we said last week, was a huge move on VIX. That was on the 5th, I believe. We went to the levels of 2020 pandemics, hit 65 and higher, and then we cooled down, closing Friday at 14.8. So that's something that some traders call the fear index. When there's a fear on the market and the sell-off happens, the VIX are going through the roof, and the opposite, causing it to go lower. So that's VIX. Now, speaking about the Feds, as you see, the 18th of September is the announcement. These numbers changed. If you remember last time, we said there were almost 50-50 probability. This time is not whether it's happening or not. It's definitely happening according to this. But the question was, will there be 25 basis points cut or 50 basis points? So it was first I think 52 against 48. Then it was the opposite, 48 against 52. And this is current as of today. We have 75% probability that it's going to be a rate cut of 25 basis points and only 25% on the higher cut. So we'll see what Powell definitely will be speaking. Also, we have FOMC meeting minutes, and we'll take a look at the economic calendar while we're there. Here we go. But before we go to economic calendar, I want to show you two more things. So Google is at the center of attention. As you know, that the government, U.S. government, is suing or winning actually the court, blaming Alphabet, it's a parent company of Google, and being a monopoly when it comes to certain products. So the latest news right here this week reports said the government is considering requesting that Google break up in order to address the monopoly. So the stock's been hit by all this news, and on the Thursday and Friday market recovery, it did recover some, but still there's a pressure there. So I guess we'll hear more relevant news in the upcoming week. Also, gold is in focus. As you know, gold made all-time highs on Friday, I believe. And it says, the article here, you can find it at themarketwatch.com. And it says right here in both West and East, buy gold at the same time that could result in far higher gold prices than we are seeing today. Says Gold Newsletter's Brian London. Okay, so they buy a lot of gold, and it's been happening for a while now, and now they talk about it loudly here. So definitely we'll be continuing watching gold and possible continuation on this exciting buying rally. Economic calendar, a few words, especially to new people. This is public information. You can find it on our web trader or the mobile app. Also, you can just Google. There's a lot of resources or sources for this information. It's a public information. You can know it ahead of time and prepare for it, which I highly suggest. Whether you use it directly or indirectly, that's your business. But I think every trader should be aware of major events that are happening, so you can plan your trading. Whether you choose to enter, exit, or stay away, it's up to you. Now, here I take the high impact events only, and there's so much more. You can browse through it, you can filter it out, whatever it's relevant for your trading. So let's go through it really quick. Tuesday, we have meeting minutes from Australian Bank, followed by CPI data from Canada. Wednesday, as I mentioned, we'll have FOMC minutes. We'll get more details about the decision making, the past meeting of FOMC. Thursday, we have PMI numbers from Germany, European Union, UK, and US. And the meeting starts, or the symposium starts in Jackson Hole on Thursday, goes all the way till Saturday. Retail sales from New Zealand on Thursday, Friday. That's where the speech of Powell is happening. And also in UK, the governor, Bailey from Bank of England, is speaking as well on the same day. That's it pretty much. Economic calendar. Here we go. Okay. Let's move now to the trading platform. And let's start with indices. As we said, it was a nice recovery across the board, especially US indices, Europeans as well. China index also followed that recovery, had a nice move on Thursday and Friday. It could be in sympathy with US indices. It could be that it started to move up. I guess we'll find out. Just in general, China has been suffering a lot. The economy that's shrinking and other issues as well. So here's China Thursday and Friday both moved to the upside. As usual, I mentioned four instruments together with China as they're being highly influenced. Crude oil, normally it would move as it did on Thursday, moved higher, but Friday went down. And I think in this case, you know what, I'll focus on it when we get to commodity. Anyway, crude oil didn't go along with China. Copper did, though. Both days we had the green day on copper. Also, two currencies that called commodity currencies, Australian and New Zealand dollars. They also had a nice move on Thursday and Friday. Of course, it has to do with weakness of the US dollar as well on that day. So both of them moved. So China showing some signs of recovery. Let's see if this is just reaction to the US markets moving higher or it's significant reason behind it. We'll find out soon. Now, US markets had a very nice recovery. As you could see here, since the beginning of August was sold, and we are almost there testing that level. Before we sold, we're really close to it. So let's see if we manage to break through it, or we might be focusing the resistance. Yeah, so we had a pretty strong V recovery here. It was a strong sell followed by this strong recovery here. So we might see some fight around this 5,600 levels. So that's as far as S&Ps. Nasdaq, similar situation. We had a nice recovery here, and we testing the similar situation here on the 1st of August. The sell-off was right there, hitting the 50-day moving average as well. Dow Jones on the way to do the same, but we're a little bit far from that level of the beginning of the sell-off, even though we had a very nice recovery here on Dow Jones. Now, European index is catching up as well. The German index, after this steep sell-off, we really are trying to recover as well. French index, similar situation. Now, UK, Thursday had to move up. We've retested the previous high, the level actually of August, and we rejected that. And Friday, even though the US market moved higher, it was a strong day, UK FTSE actually had to move to the downside. All right, so we established here an indices in general with a nice recovery. We're facing possible resistance at the levels that we're trying to approach. And let's see how this week will play out. Of course, it will depend a lot on events that we discussed in the economic calendar. So let's move to individual stocks. We'll mention a few of them. We'll start with NVIDIA. As we know, NVIDIA is kind of a leader when it comes to tech stocks. It's been leading the Nasdaq higher, then it caused the correction in Nasdaq as it sold. Currently, NVIDIA also showing a very nice recovery, and similar to the previous or whatever we saw in indices, NVIDIA actually went above the August trigger and came to the level of July 23rd. And it looks like we're having resistance here at 124.5. 124.59 was the high on 23rd of July. And Friday we did hit that level and retraced a little bit. So that's NVIDIA. We'll continue watching it. As you know, it did break through the 100 psychological level. It went as low as 90.61, and then a strong rapid recovery here, and we are facing the resistance. Now, Google, as we mentioned, is there's a fear that the government will push the company to break into pieces. I guess it's not necessarily a bad thing, according to some analysts. They can spin the company into different parts. So here's Google. The stock's been hit, and we try to recover here. Friday we had a strong day, and it looks like we rejected the previous high here on 164.81. We did move a little bit higher, but then sold and closed, kind of give away half of the gains roughly here. So that's Google. I guess we're going to hear more fundamental things coming from judges and the government. Tesla worth watching Tesla. There were some articles talking about Tesla that have improved their software for self-driving. And also October is coming, a presentation of the robo taxi, which there's a lot of expectation and positive expectations actually on their product. So that's Tesla. We did break above this past week. We break above the 200 psychological level. We had a lot of actions in the past, and we almost hit 220, closing at 216.07. So that's your Tesla there. Let's just run through the rest of the big guys. Microsoft, some recovery, nothing too crazy. Amazon, the same thing, trying to close the gap here. Now, what's interesting, if you remember, I mentioned to you that last week, a week before, that Meta or Facebook was stronger comparing with others. And this past week, we actually reached the previous high. It looks like it, or almost. But what's really strange here, which is important to notice, when the market, Nasdaq, and most of the stocks had a nice run on both Thursday and Friday. Here we go. You could see here. We had a strong move on Thursday, and Friday was kind of flat, right? According to this chart. And what happened to Meta actually on the huge move up on Thursday, Meta actually was red here after gapping. It went lower, or gapping up went lower, and Friday it sold with the gap. So something is going on here. I would be really watching here. Something that I like to mention to you, the relevant strength, if there's correlation or there's diversion. So here it looks like on the market moving higher on those 2 days, especially on Thursday, the Meta was here in red. Very important to pay attention to. So if the market, for some reason, choosing to sell the next week, it looks like the Meta would be moving lower, stronger than others, as it didn't move higher in those 2 days. Anyway, just an observation, nothing in stone, right? Intel, as we said last week, there were articles speaking of Intel as, according to some analysts, it actually reached tangible book value. And as I said, that statement might attract some buyers. When we spoke about it, the price was around 19.5. We did close the week at 20.83. Nice move so far. And let's see if that continues. The stock was or has been beaten up hardly, as they're not really showing profits, as they spend a lot of money to new plants, factories. But the predictions are that starting next year, then increasing profits are coming in 26 and 27. So let's see if Intel continues this move that it just triggered to the upside. Nike as well, maybe with the help of Olympics, it's been moving out of this situation. It's been beaten up with the bad earnings, and we went lower, and then take a look. It's been a nice recovery here since the 5th of August, actually, when the market had the drop. That day, Nike continues, and Thursday and Friday we had a gap on Thursday and continuation on Friday. So Nike is running, right? Remember the logo of Nike, or slogan of Nike, just do it? I guess they just do it here. Banks had a nice recovery recently also. Let's see if they're going to go through the highs or face resistance again. JP Morgan, similar situation here. The rest are not as strong. Bank of America and Citi, also recovery, but not that close to the highs. And one more I just wanted to show you, actually Ford. You could see the stock got beaten up so badly. Take a look. We went from $14, almost $15 exactly a month ago to as low as 9.5. And since then is the fifth, actually similar to Nike. Since the fifth, it start moving higher with 10.5 now. So it could be on the way to recovery. Let's follow board. Excuse me. So, and the last one, something that we've been following for a long time on and off, it's Teva for longer opportunities here. As we said last week, the Teva has been holding $17, and we did have a nice run. On Thursday, we went as high as 1856 and closing the week at 1826. If you take a monthly chart, really trying to really move high here. If you remember, a while ago, we spoke about the target some analysts set up around $19. We spoke about this number when we were around 11, I think. So nice move. Continuation is following on Teva Pharmaceutical. There was a lot of accumulation here after already moving up. So it looks like a lot of hopes are priced in for move higher. Doesn't mean it will go. If for some reason it fails to go higher, all these buyers will be kind of disappointed in their predictions or hopes. So I guess we'll find out. So simply put, I guess the $18 is kind of a psychological support here that we just broke through this past week as a resistance, right? As you could see here, we did try. And we faced the resistance here on the 31st of July, around 18. And then this past week, we did break that. So it looks like we're trying to establish a support, right? Okay, let's move to commodities. And as we mentioned, gold has been in focus of attention. We just made an all-time high on gold, huge move on Friday. A lot of excited buyers, the ones that bought lower, they're probably happy now. And I see that the volume is slowing here. It could be due to the summer. It could be a sign as well. So let's see. According to analysts, there's a potential continuation to the upside. I guess we'll find out. If for some reason we pull in again, we probably face the same level here as we established a while ago, around 24.31. But I guess we'll find out what's the direction of gold. It's clearly an uptrend. It could continue higher. Now, silver is trying to catch up with gold. Actually, Thursday and Friday we had to move up on silver. As we mentioned a few times, there's a physical silver demand kind of drying from China as it's being used in a lot of technology and electronics. But let's see if the gold continues. We might see actually a breakout in silver from these previous resistance levels that we faced the end of July, beginning of August. Nice recovery. Take a look. The 200 moving average held it nicely. We continue. So definitely we'll be watching this 29.15 level for possible continuation. And also, it's right where the 50 and 100 moving average are meeting here. So we'll continue watching silver. Copper, as we said, has been reacting to China. Thursday and Friday continuation after holding this support. We did break through it, right? The 398, 399. We came right back, and now we're going to be facing the 200 moving average in case we decide to go higher. And if we move lower, so this support is in place now. So that's copper. Oil, as we said, had initial move on Thursday to the upside, but then Friday sold. I think oil is very sensitive to what's happening in the Middle East, as we know. And this move up was caused by the threat by Iran towards Israel, and everybody was worried that could escalate into a big war in the region. So far, it didn't happen. I think the negotiations are going on between Hamas and Israel. And I think Iran is on hold now with the retaliation. So I'm just speculating here. So maybe that's the reason that, or into the weekend, oil kind of gave away some of the previous gains. So natural gas, we had a nice move from the base here at 191. We had the fight with the 200 moving average. Guess who won? The average won. We didn't go higher. So both Thursday and Friday we sold. Now the question is, are we going to go down and retest the levels below, or we're going up? That's the regular question, right? So we'll find out, I guess, in the upcoming week what's happening in natural gas. As of now, the 225, 226 area remains the resistance. And as of now, this level around 191, where the previous big move started back in May, it actually remains the support. So between 191 and 226. All right. So that's natural gas. Cocoa, our funny cocoa. So this is the change of contract, and it looks like the investors or traders kind of okay with this price. They're waiting. You could see we're sitting around 7,000, trying to decide. We're right on 200 moving average here. The question is, are we moving lower from here? Is this all rally done? Is fundamentally cocoa is in a better position now, or is just a calm before the storm, and we continue higher? Just last week we closed at the 9,200, right? And we are at 7,000. So we'll continue watching cocoa. Big question there. And as we mentioned last week, the grains, the wheat, corn, and soybeans, we look at them as a possible end of the sell-off. Let's see, wheat is still hanging around here. It did try to run, but it came right back. So we're holding. I think wheat remains the strongest out of three. Corn sold again. We just made a lower low on the daily chart here. And soybeans, similar situation. So I guess the sellers are not done yet. We'll keep an eye on these grains. And it looks like there's a tremendous pressure here. We've been selling starting from mid or May 23rd here on soybeans. And corn, similar situation. Mid-May, end of May, the sell-off, and it is continuing. So we'll continue keeping an eye on the grains as well. Moving to Forex, we'll start with dollar index showing the weakness as we're approaching that decision by the Feds exactly in a month, September 18, that decision. And as we mentioned and shown the diagram there, that it looks like it's a closed deal, that we at least have 0.25 basis points cut in interest rate. And of course, this week, as we mentioned, Powell will be speaking at Jackson Hole. And I guess we'll find out more details on this. But as you could see here, we are breaking down from the previous support here that held in March. And we did try to break through and then came right back on the 5th of August. And we're down again. So looks like dollar is losing a little bit its positions here. And if we establish a resistance below this level, current level around 102.30, 102.20, we might continue sliding here. And on the weekly chart, as you could see here, we keep on moving lower, and we're facing that support that turns into a resistance potentially. So that's on dollar. And obviously, the majors moved higher against dollar. Here's euro dollar hit for the first time in a long time. We hit 110, 110.27 closing. Last time we were there, it was last year, the end of year. Excuse me. And that puts some hopes into buyers in euro here. And the same thing in pound. We just broke through that top of the channels. If you remember, we mentioned a lot the channel between 126 and 128. On Friday, we broke above it, and we came to 129.42 closing. So let's see if we manage to go and reach the previous high. We'll watch what's happening here. Now, USD CAD as well, showing the weakness here against Canadian dollar. And across the board, here we go. The commodity currencies are regaining some strength against the dollar. China is helping as well, as we mentioned before. Australian dollar here, New Zealand dollar here. Nice move to the upside. Swiss franc as well. After Friday move to the upside, we almost erased the gain on, after Thursday's move up, Friday almost erased that gain. And as we said, the yen is again resuming that strength. We had a little bit of recovery of dollar against the yen here, but Friday we moved lower, and across the board, as you could see here, similar situation. So we might be seeing that continuation of the strengthening of the yen, as you could see here, after an attempt of correction. It was a little bit of a correction here, right? So Swiss franc, Australian, Canadian, Euro, Pound, and New Zealand. Actually, New Zealand is the strongest against the yen, actually closed on Friday in green. So let's see if the yen is resuming the move up against the currencies, or it continues that correction from the recent move up. Okay, so that's as far as Forex. And one more pair I would like to show you, that's the South African rand. It's been regaining the strength. Technically speaking, I don't know what fundamentally behind it. I don't know if it's easy to determine that. But here we had a triple bottom here, as you could see on daily chart, back in mid-June, beginning of July, and then again mid-July, and then this week it's been strong against the dollar here. As you could see, we just broke through that support and closed below. Now, if you zoom out, we could see continuation of that move. And if that happens, we might be seeing the move somewhere around these levels, 17.5. And if that continues, we might actually see continuation to either 200 moving average or the previous support, which is about the same situation here. Okay, so we'll continue watching USD ZARs. We know a lot of customers from South Africa like to trade that pair. Okay, as I promised, a little bit dessert with the cryptos. As you could see, Bitcoin is playing around 60,000. We had a sell-off that we have moved back to almost 63, zigzagging, but sitting and playing around 60,000. I've read a few things that talking about Trump, that Trump could be good news for cryptocurrencies, but we don't really know if he's going to be president, right? So, and here's the Ethereum also trying to recover here after the recent sell-off. If you remember all ETF stories, when we got excitement and the sell-off across the board on cryptos, and we slowly try to recover. So we'll be watching that. Okay, I guess that's it for today. Just to wrap it up, put it all together. We had a nice week, not a full, but almost a full recovery in indices from the recent sell-offs. We had some stocks recovering, some are doing the opposite. We had dollar weakened as we're getting closer to the Fed's decision. Also, China is showing some signs of recovery. We'll find out if it's US related or global market related, or really something positive is happening there. And the highlight of the week, we have the speech of Jerome Powell and in the symposium on Friday. And before that, we have the FOMC minutes and other data from different places. I want to wish everyone a good weekend. We still have some time left. And get some rest, get some good energy, and I wish you lots of success in the upcoming week. And we should be back next Sunday. Take care. All the best.